to Unladylike Opinions, where this review is going to be The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 2, Episode 2, Icy Apology. Okay, the episode starts off with Whitney talking to her husband, who gonna pick the kids up from school, because since she got her business booming, she done double booked herself with meetings. So, she was like, wow, who gonna pick the kids up? So they discussed that. And so now we're at Lisa's house, and she's fussing at her son about cleaning his room, and he looking at her like, okay. So then at Mary's house, she's in her son's room going through his refrigerator, and he looked like, girl, you annoying me, get out my room. And all he has, his fridge is like water and yogurt, and she was like, you gotta eat more than this, you need nutrients. And his room is like so tacky with all this Gucci everywhere. I don't know why people love the big symbols on stuff. Like the Gucci symbols, it's tacky to me. Get plain stuff or something. So we get to Jen's house, and she's over there in her closet showing all this or whatever, and they're like, this is too much. Her nephew was telling her that she need to like donate some stuff to the Goodwill or whatever. And of course she was like, okay. And she, they bag up, well, she didn't bag up, they bagging up the stuff, whatever. And her scamming partner Stu was over there talking in her closet about all the designer stuff she got or whatever. So then she starts talking to her nephew, and she was saying how she was going through a rough time with Sharif, and he called needing her help, and she wasn't really available. So when she finally got herself available, she got him and his family out of South Central, and she brought them to stay with her. I'm wondering if, I'm saying if to be, petty, but when Jen go to jail, I wonder where they gonna stay at then. I'm just wondering. So Jen sits down and she calls Heather, and she told Heather that she wants to sit down and have a get together with her so they can hash things out. And of course, Heather is ready, because I don't know what it is about Jen. And Jen can say anything to Heather. Heather feelings will be hurt, but Heather gonna still drop everything when Jen called. The stuff Jen said about Heather, we can talk on the phone. I ain't finna meet with you, because I might want to swing on you. They're just simple as that. So Brooks called Meredith, and they had this little funny little conversation when his dad walks in with this little bling face mask on. They thought it was funny. So she sits down with her husband as they eat dinner, and she tells him how Jen is laboring her son is gay, and he's still confused about his sexuality. And I kind of can see that, he probably just weighing things out. I'm pretty sure that I don't want to say it like that, but I think he is gay, but he's like, because it's different parts of gay, I think, or whatever. So I guess he's trying to figure out what part, where he fit in the LGBTQ plus all them letters community. And so Seth was like, he can't believe that Jen would be liking stuff. So it's like he really don't think that Jen is, doing this or whatever. And Meredith was like, no, it's her. And she is livid about this situation or whatever. And Seth think it's a misunderstanding or whatever. And Meredith said, no, she knows exactly what she's doing. And so we're over here at Mary's house, and she's talking to her cousin, who is, I guess, her contractor or something. And she wants to redecorate her house. It's not the house, it's the decorations in the house. She wants to change stuff like the fireplace, which is beautiful. I don't think she should change it. She should change the decoration she got on the fireplace, if you ask me, because Mary's house is, Lord, the house tacky. Oh my God. You would thought my grandma was staying in there. Not saying my grandma was tacky, but all the figurines and stuff. Just that, my grandma had taste, okay? Don't play with Hazel. So she sits down with him after she says, he's the worst contractor she ever had, But he does get the job done. He just takes too long. And I think Mary just hires her cousin because she wouldn't want to pay the real money for a real contractor. If you ask me, she taking the cheap route out, so she can spend money on them awful decorations she be buying. So him and her sit down. I like her table and, you know, the chairs. I just don't like the color scheme. I don't know. Mary like a clown or something, because she's just like, she live in the coloring book or something. Like, stick to a pattern, girl. God. So she tells him how her son is going through this teenage stage and he doesn't really listen to her. And he was like, you know, that's the teenager stage, you know, it's gonna be like that for a while. And so I was feeling sorry for her, because I was like, you know, I understand, like, you know, my kids ain't really have no bad teenager stage, like attitude wise, yeah, but they knew not to play with me, because I don't play. But you know, I was feeling bad for her, and I was like, oh, Mary, I feel your pain or whatever. Then she turned around and say, she told her son that if he get with a girl and she smell like fish, she told him to run. Where the hell that come from? Like, it's understandable. Where the hell that come from? Like, how you go from being sentimental about to cry about your son, you know, attitude, teenage attitude, and then talking about some female smelling like fish? I told y'all, Mary is crazy. Can't nobody tell me no different. So Lisa was in the car with Jenny, whatever the girl name is, the new girl, Jenny. And they're in the car, and Lisa tells her how excited she is for her to meet Jen. Of course, everybody is. She says that she think that Jenny and Jen would get along real good because they have a lot in common. I don't see it, because Jen is the devil. But she's telling her that, you know, they have a lot of similarities, you know, they their background kind of similar, whatever. But Jen is talking to her scamming partner Stu when Lisa shows up, and Lisa comes in with sewing machines and patterns, saying that they gonna make matching pants so they can wear it to lunch together. And Jen said in her confessional, we don't even know how to cook and we finna make pants. Make that make sense. I hollered. So Jeannie says that she used to be a wedding singer, and she sings in her confessional, and I'm like, Jeannie, if you don't stop lying, ain't no way in hell you was a wedding singer singing like that. What weddings you was singing? But you know what? They had that type of humor. They probably did hire her to sing at their wedding. So Lisa tells Jen about that she talked to Meredith, and she tells her that Meredith is upset that Jen is still talking about her son. Jen says she understands, but she says Brooke talked derogatory about her vagina, which is a big lie, because he didn't talk derogatory about it. You kicked your legs up in the air when you had a skirt on, and he said he didn't want to see your vagina or whatever. So he didn't like go in on your vagina or nothing like that. He just said that ain't nothing he should have been seeing, because you was drunk, kicking your legs up in the air, and you had a dress on, skirt, dress, something, you know, you had your legs in the air. So Jen goes on and on talking about how she only liked funny tweets about him, which is a lie. You like a tweet about people saying that you should have slapped the hell out of him. What's funny about that? And Lisa just don't say nothing, and she just be shaking her head like, okay, yeah. So they like they scared of Jen. Ain't no egg. I think they is scared of Jen. Jen say she need to write a book of how many apologies for the same thing, how many times you can apologize for the same thing 101 times, because all people want from her is an apology. Well, Jen, if you stop doing stuff, you won't have to keep apologizing, because you apologize and go back and do the same thing. That's why you always apologizing. So Heather meets up with Whitney at a boutique, and they try on clothes, and then they sit down, and Heather tells Whitney that Jen called her, FaceTime her, and then they're going to get lunch the next day. So, you know, Whitney looks at Heather like, girl, you falling for the okie doke yet again. Whitney tells Heather that she is worried about this because she was the one picking her up off the floor plenty of times when she was crying over things that Jen had said about her. So Heather tells her that she feels like her and Jen are true friends, and Jen is just confused sometimes. And Whitney says, make Jen work for this friendship. Don't just walk back in. And she tells her to be careful because you don't know which Jen you're going to get. And so Jeannie is in her, we was at Jeannie's house now, and Jeannie is in her kitchen cooking with her daughter. And her daughter comes in with this funny joke, and she says, what the Atlantic Ocean say to the Pacific Ocean? And she say, nothing, it just wave. And it reminds me of my 14-year-old and these corny jokes that he be saying that be hilarious to him, and I just be sitting there like, okay. And, so Jeannie says she had 5 medical clinics. So when she had her last child, which is the little girl, she decided to sell all of them because she wanted to spend more time with her kids. And, you know, of course, her husband was happy. She decided to do that because he wanted her at home anyway, because he wanted to pump her with a lot of babies or whatever. So her husband talks to her about having another baby, and Jeannie is like, no, I have 3, I'm good. So apparently in their culture, you're accomplished if you have a whole lot of kids or something like that, I think she said, or whatever. But her tubes are tied. And so are mine. I tied mine when I was 25, and the doctor begged me not to. And like I told him, you must gonna help me take care of the 3rd one. I was adamant about not having no more kids. I wanted a girl, but I had my 2 boys, and I was like, I can't do a 3rd, and closed up shop. And I've been 14 years sober from kids. I'm going to hell. But I wonder if things gonna get, you know, exciting with this family, because they kind of like boring and plain. Not to say like plain and boring ain't good, but for a reality show, it's not. So Whitney and her kids come up with a chore chart to take some things off Whitney's plate so she can focus more on her business. Her and her husband say he wants to make sure nothing overlooks their kids or the family. She says she wants the relationship with him to be better because she needs more sex than he does. And she said they used to have sex every day, and now it's just 2 or 3 times a week, which still ain't that bad. Because I know some people that, you know, some couples that I don't think they have once a week or whatever. And so he tells her when she gets busy, she checks out. And so she was like, you know, she don't want to have just no robotic sex or whatever. And they asked her, what is robotic sex? And when Whitney gets up and demonstrates what robotic sex is, oh my God, Whitney had me hollering. I was like, Whitney, get down. It was too funny. So Jen and Stewart, her scamming conspirator, are trying to make their way through this ice castle, igloo ice castle or something, where her and Heather supposed to have their little meetup or whatever. And Heather shows up, and she was like, oh no, I'm not going in that way. And she almost slipped, so she tried to find another way in. So here comes Jen flying down on a sled or whatever. And it seems like Heather, that impressed Heather, because she was like, oh, she put in effort. Girl, bye. Just say you wanted to be friends with her. So you couldn't pay me. See, I don't like to be cold. See, I'm cold right now, and I took my jacket off because I want to be a little presentable in this interview, because I sit at home with a jacket on all day. I don't care if it's summer, winter, fall. I'm gonna have a jacket on. But they in this igloo or whatever, and Jen asked Heather to tell her what happened with their friendship. And Heather, tries to tell her, stuff, and of course Jen deflects, and she put like, I was hurt too. Nobody never thinks about me or my kids, or how what you said hurt my kids. And Heather asks her, did you post these things to get back at me? And Jen says, you shouldn't believe everybody. And Heather tries to show her, like, these are your tweets. This is your name with the blue check. These are tweets that you shared, tweets that you like. And of course, Jen tries to turn the tables on her and, start bringing up about how nobody cares about her. She starts crying, and Heather's just eating it up. And Jen starts talking about her brown skins and how she's felt like this growing up. No, she doesn't belong. And Heather, I'm sitting here like, she called you a racist, so why is you feeding into this? And I'm just sitting here like, how you gonna use being brown skinned when that has nothing to do with, race has nothing to do with this, because you are the damn devil. Like, you terrorize the hell out of people when they don't go for what you want to go for. I just don't understand, Jen. So Heather automatically falls for the waterworks and was like, I want to move past the pettiness and move forward. But she says something totally different in her confessional. She says Jen is treated different because of her temper, not the color of her skin. She says she is treated better because people walk on eggshells around her, which I agree. They all walk around like they scared. I wish she would have said this to Jen, because that's something Jen should have heard from her or whatever, instead of her just like pacifying Jen as always. And Heather tells Jen that she feels like she is breaking up with her because she never had a boyfriend before, so I guess this is what a breakup feels like. And they was like, they decided to make amends, and Jen says she is going to make changes, and this time she actually does what she does always, apologize, because she's going to turn around and do something again. And that was the end of the episode. Wasn't too much in this episode. I'll be glad when we get down to the nitty gritty with Jen going to the pen and the feds come to get her. I really want to see that, because what kind of heart do you have to scam old people? Scam any people, but old people? Come on, man. Old people and kids, man. But anyway, you guys, that was my review of that episode. Like, share, comment, and I will get back with you later. Goodbye.